Welcome. Welcome to a segment of sharing. And what are we sharing this day? Tracy is the medium in which collective consciousness flows through. Source energy, eternal light beings. Tracy has moved aside, allowing space for communication. And isn't it all fascinating? For Tracy, it feels that the heavens are speaking through her. And with that, she is only wanting to share with you. So the topic of the day, the sharing of the day, the message for the day, if you will, is truly, we want to speak about when ones find the space of anger. And we are sharing because so many feel the burdens of life, feel we want to say the disappointment, the disheartenment. And then there are times where ones become angry within themselves, angry towards themselves. So many feel that anger is towards another or others or situation and experience. But oftentimes anger is kept within oneself. For let us say one has been betrayed by another. There is anger perhaps towards the other. It is a choice. We'll get into that. Towards the other. But so often ones will bring it inside and say, I should have known better. Shouldn't have trusted him or her. I shouldn't have. And so the anger then is sort of moving within. And then as one walks their journey, it doesn't take much for a spark to come up and elevate this anger that is held within, that has not been released. So why is that a topic of the day? Well, again, so many are holding the space of anger. And at times, we're not saying it shows up every day. And we're not saying it doesn't show up when one feels that it should show up. All emotions are meant to be felt. You are meant to feel anger, just as you are meant to feel joy. You are meant to feel anger. It is the contrast of life. What we are sharing is when you hold the anger and what it creates for oneself. Now, some can hold anger towards something, someone's, if you will, way back in time, decades of time. Every time they think about it, they get mad, they get angry. And anger sometimes turns to rage, Have you noticed in the experience of rage, when one really loses their temper, and it's like an explosion. It's not even an outburst. It's bigger than an outburst. It's an explosion that goes out. Some have so much physical strength, can move mountains or furniture perhaps. And we want to be playful here. When ones are feeling rage, the human body truly feels every impact in the moment. So even though it is coming forth and outwards, say an outburst, one loses their temper, and it all just flies out, if you will, the physical apparatus, your body feels it with great depth. So often that ones, if they find rage, it is exhausting because it flows outward. It's a burst, it's an explosion, and then once that is completed, if you will, it's exhausting. There is no energy left to be had. Some will just retreat for a whole day because their body is in shock, let us say it that way. So not everyone and everyday experiences lead to rage, but so many feel anger. And in the space of anger, perhaps mild anger, the body is still in response to. It takes much energy to feel angry. That is why one's become burdened with it. It feels heavy upon one's shoulders, burdened. Because anger takes up so much physical energy. So one may say, oh, lighten up. The reaction to that. But it is of grand truth that when one can release the anger that is being carried, one naturally feels the contrast of, the lightness of. To be light-hearted, light in one's step, to feel expansive and whole and well. When ones are feeling angry and holding it for a long time, they do not feel well. How are you feeling today? They do not feel well, but their physical body is doing everything it can to provide the energy that the emotion of anger is going to need, if you will. It sounds sort of funny, but if you just ponder what we are sharing, you would then understand that when ones are carrying anger for any length of time, anger, resentment, hurt, heartache, fill it in, everything opposite to joy, everything opposite to even mild happiness, everything opposite to a little bit of peace. The body responds. So we say it that way because when one has experienced or is experiencing the feeling, the emotion of rage, the body must respond. Sort of like your fight and flight, where if there is something that needs to be right away, and we've often used the little one running out. Oh no, and you got to grab that little one before they go out into traffic or do something that may harm them. That takes a burst of energy. It takes a burst of energy to react to something that needs a quick reaction. And rage is like a quick reaction, even though it's taken some time to get there, but perhaps not. Have you ever been around someone that looks perfectly, we'll say balanced, perfectly okay? Not happy, not sad, just even. And then something is mentioned, and the rage that is let go, explosive. So someone touched on something that was painful, and the reaction was anger, was rage. So it does sit inside, if you will, sort of being buried, like happiness. And we want to be playful again. So many bury happiness, and it gets buried with rage. Think about it. Or we'll say anger, because rage is not felt as often as anger. So when you are going about your day, we would suggest to you to check in with yourself, check in with your body, and ask the question, what am I feeling? Because sometimes even in the stillness of the day, say you're just doing your errands, you are doing housework, you are just living your day, in the background of that can be thoughts that bring you to unpleasantness, to anger, to resentment, to hurt, And your body is feeling all that, even if you're sort of on auto. You're going about your day, having conversations with others, and all the while, deep within, your body is experiencing the emotions that are being carried. We want to say, it is so hard on the body. It is so hard on we want to say on your beautiful cells. It is hard on you. That's why it feels heavy. So ones will say, well, that sounds very nice. Yeah, but do you know what has created my anger? I have reason to be angry. I should be in rage all the time. Not just angry, I should be in rage at what has taken place. And we will agree. Yeah. It would feel like that. Even though you feel entitled to the emotion, you can feel entitled to happiness as well. But if the anger feels justified, and some find power in having anger, gives them a little more strength, sort of push people around. You've met the bull in the china shop. The bull in the china shop. Oh, aggressive. And they walk and they're knocking things over, metaphor or not. Being careless. Careless with others, the way they speak to others. You see it in grocery stores, in your daily activity. So it gives one a sense of feeling not superior, but entitled. Entitled to say it like it is, to be mean to another, to be harsh to a teller, a clerk in a store perhaps, to be harsh to a total stranger. Have you ever had the experience of smiling at someone and they just glare at you like, what are you doing smiling at me? How dare you? Have you ever had that experience where you just want to convey a lovely gesture and it is met with such resistance and you are sorry that you even wanted to smile at this person? There is power in that, making others feel small. Now, we're not saying it is intentional. We're not saying it is even conscious. We are sharing that when ones hold on to anger, it becomes their persona, their personality. And then what? And we will share. And then the body will let you know how far you have pushed it by carrying anger. The body, if anger is carried a long time, now we're speaking a long time, not something coming along and you feel angry and you have all right to feel angry, you feel you have right to feel angry, and then time goes on and it settles and perhaps there's an apology, perhaps there's some forgiveness, perhaps you just walk away feeling better you walked away. Whatever the outcome that brings you to a better feeling place than anger, you can't always stay angry. But there are some who always stay angry. We are sharing to find a space to release it. Because your physical body is responding, reacting, living up to, creating the energy to house the anger. It takes energy, much of it. And then the body is depleted. And that's where the heaviness, the burdens, the exhaustion comes in. So we would guide to say, free yourself, Free yourself from the shackles of anger, and not easy to do. For you have all right and reason to feel the way you feel, and all emotions are meant to be felt. We are sharing that anger is not meant to be carried. Resentment. Oh, I'll show them. I'll get them. Oh, they don't know who they've crossed. Perhaps not. But all the while, your body is becoming exhausted. You may prove your point, and this is not a lecture, not at all. Not at all. It is a sharing to remind you of your brilliance underneath layers of human experience, human emotion. Your body is truly your body temple. And when you nurture your body, when you nurture your emotions, you truly bring zest to life itself. How can one feel happy if one is holding anger? You cannot hold both. We have shared this time and time again. Happiness has to be placed down to pick up anger, but anger has to be placed down to pick up happiness. But it feels like that scale is outweighed. So many are searching for happiness. And isn't it something? It is truly an emotion like anger. Not like anger, but an emotion. And so often no one searches for anger. A lot of times it's because it is held and not let go of. So, a little sharing about anger. And if ones are angry, they would probably have turned this off a little while ago. This is a bunch of bull. Fill it in. We'll say BS. Tracy has her own words for that. And Tracy will be the first to say that she can arrive at anger quite quickly. She's had her experience of rage. And she found out her own strength, if you will. And she also found out that it was exhausting and truly allowed a space for her to feel just awful. In the moment of rage, it is a release and it does feel good many times. But it is the after effect of it. It is what comes after. It is like, sort of like drugs on the euphoric high. What comes after? What does the body feel after? There is a depth of low that is undescribable. And rage is like that. It can feel really good to lose it, to really lose it. And Tracy has lost it. But every human being has. It is just not meant to be carried. And chances are, very good chance, that if you are not carrying previous travels that have upset you to create anger, when something comes along and you feel angry, it is sort of like a new emotion. It's not added to everything that's already there. Tracy had to learn to let go of the hurt, because truly, most times, anger is present because of hurt. Tracy had to let go of what has hurt her heart. And we are sharing with you. Why not today free yourself and just place it down the best you can? And there's a saying, walk towards the sun and leave the shadows behind you. Really good. Really, really good. There is great love for you.